me see if
hear your
walks
music?
by.
You have a mission, Sam.
He's walking around. He's getting swag. That's what a lot of people do to at this point. They get the they get the swag from all the vendors. All right, here he is. Hold on. Slow down. Oh,
Does he hear the
going for
music?
another mimosa. Hey, excuse me. So I'm doing my show. Did I tell you I did do a show? Okay. Do you wanna come on? Because I was talking in general that I was.
Yeah, make sure the mimosa's in the show.
I mean, it's the same thing. Look at how Obama ruined the economy. It's very simple.
Obama ruined the economy.
Absolutely. I mean, come on. Ask any economist ever.
We know that the economy crashed before he was president.
Yes. But you know that he oversaw the worst recovery ever in this country's history, and it was purposefully done.
He purposely made a bad recovery. So he didn't ruin the economy. He just didn't recover it as well as...
He did everything he could to make sure that it did not recover quickly.
Why did he do that?
Have you read the Cloward-Piven thesis?
Excuse me?
Have you read Cloward-Piven?
I have not read Cloward-Piven.
Okay, well, then you're not a journalist, because, I mean, that is the Democratic strategy. It is the underlying document. And if you actually read it, or anybody that leans left actually bothered to do some research, you keep looking at it and you're trying to blame everybody else, but you want to completely just give him this God complex where he could do nothing wrong. But you said the other night the government impacts the economy, right?
I didn't say that he had nothing to do with it. The stimulus should have been bigger.
When has the stimulus ever worked?
Every time it's been implemented.
Short term, never long term. It's never had any long term benefit whatsoever.
What? The economy has recovered.
It was the slowest recovery ever in this country's history.
Well, it was the second largest.
Why is it that U.S. corporations had the largest cash reserves in U.S. history throughout the beginning of the Obama presidency, yet didn't invest? Because they were concerned about the direction of the country, and because there was very limited actual knowledge given as to what the changes in taxes were going to be. So therefore, they could not invest. This was every top economist came out and said this and begged.
Which top economists?
Read any economic, I mean, literally from Bloomberg, who came out freaking saying it, who you would not expect, to literally, I mean, every top CEO was saying, listen, we want to invest, we want to grow.
The top CEOs.
Yes.
Not economists.
Yes, economists as well. The CEOs of the company, their head CFOs were coming out saying, listen, we want to invest.
Their chief financial officers.
Yes.
Who were talking about the
have you done any research on this?
No.
Is the question. Okay, so you have absolutely no knowledge of the subject, but
I have no knowledge of the subject.
Okay, so why are you arguing the subject then?
I'm actually being facetious. What about all the spending and stimulus that we had during the Great Depression?
Okay, so you're an FDR guy. You want to know what? There was a need for it, and I would have no problem putting money into, redoing bridges, things like that. These are valid things.
Obama,
my shovel-ready jobs, and then a year and a half later says, oh yeah, there is no such thing as a shovel-ready job, and $800 billion somehow disappeared.
Well, how much of that $800 billion were tax cuts?
Not that much of it.
Not that much of it?
I mean, the spending? No, he spent $800 billion that you could not find. I mean, it was money spent. We're not talking tax cuts. This is money spent.
Okay. So
now,
the stimulus you say was 800. Hold on for 1 second, because as you say, it's very important to do research, right?
Right.
And we're going to talk about the stimulus, and we're gonna look it up together from the New York Post. As you know, not a liberal newspaper.
No, not terribly.
Right. More than half of the package was tax cuts. Was in tax cuts.
Okay.
What is half of 800 billion?
400 billion.
400 billion.
Okay.
So 400 billion of that was tax cuts. Now, I'm surprised you didn't know that because of all the
that's not what we were talking about spending. We moved past that. It's tax cuts. It did nothing. What did the stimulus do? Where did it get us?
Well, it kept us from going
No, it
into a
didn't.
deeper
No, it didn't.
recession.
Define that. I mean, it's the entire thing with
Define
your
it.
side is we didn't do anything good, but we stopped this catastrophic thing that we can never ever actually quantify. That's
What?
why is it from the left? It's
There
always
were millions of
why is it on the
jobs
left
that
hand?
were
Why
lost.
is it on the left? You have never actually done anything. It's always just if you hadn't have done what you did, it would have been worse. I've never actually heard a Democrat go, we actually did something good and we had a positive benefit. It's always we did something, but it would have been worse if we didn't do it.
Expanded Medicaid under the ACA, and there's hard data.
What
that,
level
that
of results has that had versus the
it has increased the
devastating
health
impact
of
it had
people.
on the really? Can
Yes.
you show me any marginal increase?
Yes, I can
mean,
actually
what?
just there was new studies that just came out. Impact of Medicaid. It says benefits for mind, body, and work ability seen in Medicaid expansion. New findings about low-income adults with behavioral health conditions, mental health, and substance abuse disorders suggest importance of continuous coverage. Expanding Medicaid to more low-income adults helped them feel healthier, do a better job at work or job search in just 1 year after they got their new health coverage, a University of Michigan study finds.
Medicaid, I don't think it has had a drastic increase. And honestly, are these people that would not have had health care before? Probably not. Not a large majority.
Medicaid
of them.
is only available to people who can't afford health care.
That's a load of crap.
What?
That's a load of crap.
What do you mean? Who's eligible for Medicaid in the expansion?
Well, they just said low-income people. Now, if you
No.
over,
Let me ask you, because you have done a lot of research on this, and so I'm asking you, who's eligible for Medicaid?
All right, for Medicaid, I think it's under what, $28,000 a year.
Do you know what level of poverty?
It goes up to the poverty level plus 10%.
For the expansion of Medicaid, 133% of poverty.
Huh?
133% of poverty. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I said plus 10%. All right.
Right.
So,
I mean, you're 20. It's not that far off, I guess. Well, look, I think this has been interesting, but we've got to wrap up the show.
I'm hungover as shit from last night anyway.
Yeah.
So.
No, I understand.
But hey, it was a pleasure anyway.
Yeah,
man.
you too.